This is Bruce Bishop for ChronicleT.com, back once again with Tim Alcorn from AM 930 WEOL. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing great. Great to be back at Lorain County Community College as our weekly videos continue. And, of course, if we're here at LCC, that means we're talking high school football. Some teams are still alive. Avon, Olmsted Falls, Black River, teams that are in our area that we like to talk about. They play in the Elite Eight this Friday night. How about that? The regional championship games are Friday night. Of course, Avon and Olmsted Falls will be playing each other. Black River in Division 5 will be taking on South Range, so it's really cool that we've got some local teams in the Elite Eight as far as high school football in this great state is concerned.
Awesome. Okay, well, before we get going, I have one quick question for you.
Yes?
I'm going to do you a little favor. What's with that banner behind your head there?
Well, it's NEO Launch Net. NEO Launch Net. It's an office here at Lorain County Community College, and they are spearheading, organizing activities this week here at LCC as far as Global Entrepreneurship Week. So there's some great things that are going on here at the Student Center, a lot of activity behind me aside from that banner, but Global Entrepreneurship Week, and again, it's being spearheaded by NEO Launch Net. So we'll talk a little bit more about that as the video moves along, but man, there's a lot of cool things going on behind us.
Sure is. I figured that was the hardest part you're going to do today, so we'd knock it out of the way and get moving on.
You know, I have a few names to pronounce and that sort of thing, but yes, Global Entrepreneurship Week. I hope you don't make me say that a few more times.
We'll sneak it in at the end. All right, I'll have you spell it for the thinking cap question.
I'm a radio guy. I'm not a speller.
Right on. All right, so let's talk about last week. What happened?
Well, Avon moving along. The number one ranked team in the state of Ohio in Division II. They had a bit of a tussle with a very good Medina Highland team, but Avon pulls away in the second half of play. They win that game, Bruce, by a final of 28-10 to go to 12-0 on the year. Boy, Avon came in realizing that their terrific running back, Tony Eberhardt, would not be in the lineup. He was struggling with an illness. He could not play, and yet they had some guys step up that played very, very well, kind of running back by committee. Aaron Endrazol had a terrific ball game for Avon. Their sophomore running back, Nick Perusik, he bounced back after having been out for a few weeks with an injury. Nick Perusik, the 10th grader, had a terrific performance. And then a guy that really excels on the defensive side of the ball at linebacker in Mark Steinmetz. He moved across to play some running back on the offensive side, a big bruiser. Steinmetz had a great game. So Steinmetz, Endrazol, Perusik did a great job. Of course, the offense engineered by their sensational junior quarterback Ryan Malloy, hit some key passes to the likes of Chris Mullins, David Orlando. So Avon moves on. They're 12-0, but give Highland credit. They played Avon very, very tough. And as we said, they now play, Avon that is, plays Olmsted Falls on Friday night. Boy, a great win for Olmsted Falls. I don't think a lot of people gave O Falls a huge amount of a chance against a very good Wadsworth team, but O Falls wins it in the end, 21-20. So it's now Avon versus O Falls in that regional championship game on Friday night. Of course, they met during the regular season. They squared off in week 2, so it was very early. Avon won that game in resounding fashion, 31-7. But I would think O Falls will give a much better performance in the playoff game this Friday night. A trip to the Final Four is on the line. O Falls has really improved as the year has gone along. So I think we're going to see a heck of a battle, an all-Southwestern Conference regional championship between Avon and the Bulldogs this Friday night.
Okay, so before we get moving along too much, I want you to tell me a little bit about that phone call. We were talking before we started filming this morning. Since hopefully she's listening, so let's talk about it.
Well, we've got Black River moving on. Black River last week really dismantled Wycliffe, 44-6. We talked about the three guys that run the football for Black River. They've got that three-headed monster in the backfield, Riley Gibbs, along with Travis Sexton and Jacob Campbell. Each one of those three went well over 100 yards last week in that huge win over Wycliffe to put Black River in the regional championship this Friday night against South Range. Well, we've been talking on the video here for the past few weeks about Black River and how Lorain County claims Black River for their own, Medina County claims Black River for their own. And I mentioned I wasn't even sure where the building sat and what the breakdown of the student population was. Well, I got a very nice phone call from a woman who told me, Tim, here's the way this works. Black River High School actually has students from 4 different counties. They have students from Lorain County, Medina County, Ashland County, and Wayne County. And then the actual building, Black River High School, sits in Ashland County. So, wow, you talk about a lot of pieces to that Black River puzzle. But, hey, one thing we know, they are acting as one unit right now as far as winning football games in that big win over Wycliffe. They rushed for just under 500 yards in that ball game. They didn't have one passing yard. Not one. They were 0 for 2 through the air. They rushed for just under 500. As I mentioned, with guys like Riley Gibbs and Sexton and Campbell, they can just churn it up on the ground. I'm sure they look to do the same thing this Friday night when they take on South Range.
That's kind of cool. That's sort of old school football.
That's old
isn't
school,
it?
man. That's
leather
going
helmet
back.
Stuff.
Yeah, that's old school football. That's classic football. I've talked about Alan Young and what a phenomenal job he's done as the head coach over at Black River. They've got just a program that reloads year after year after year, and he believes in that old school football. Grind it out on the ground. They run that wing tee. I mentioned last week they will hit you physically as far as the defensive side of the ball is concerned. So I like Black River's chances this Friday night. When you get down to the Elite Eight, the Final Eight in the state of Ohio, sometimes that good old-fashioned smash-mouth football can carry you through, and I think Black River's got a real good shot against South Range on Friday night.
Okay, let's talk about where you're going to be and what's happening.
Well, can I talk about one more team? Just one
Okay,
more
sure.
team, because certainly a team that's in our area per se that we don't talk a lot about on the videos, but they're in the Elite Eight as well, the Bay Rockets. They are 12-0. They advanced to the Elite Eight with a big win last Friday night against the Padua Bruins. Now, Bay has a big challenge on their hands on Friday night. They're going out to Sandusky. They'll be taking on Toledo Central Catholic, one of the great parochial school programs in that Toledo area. They've got a great running back and actually a two-way player in Trey Pasoda, who's a tremendous player for the Rockets, so we do want to wish them the best.
Very good. Okay, so where are you going to be this week, Tim?
All right, where are we going to be? Well,
Let's go.
Friday night, Avon versus Olmsted Falls. I think it's really cool that the game is going to be played in Lorain County. Congratulations to North Ridgeville. They get to host the game on Friday night. So WEOL on the radio side will have that Avon Olmsted Falls Elite Eight matchup. Again, Avon won the game during the regular season. I think it's going to be much tougher this time around. Olmsted Falls really has that triple option offense clicking on all cylinders. They've got 2 great running backs in Luke Lombardo along with Jack Spellacy. So I think Olmsted Falls will give Avon a great game, if not pull the upset. So that's our radio game. Stream 2 on WEOL.com. We will have Black River as they take on South Range. That game will be played at Northwest High School down in Canal Fulton. So a big night of coverage on WEOL and on the mobile app and online. But, man, you get to the Elite Eight, it's a lot of fun now. You're talking a regional championship for whoever comes out on top. So we'll have it covered on WEOL and on the app and online.
Sounds good. Okay, it's time.
Oh, the thinking cap.
Thinking cap.
See, you almost made me forget about it, Bruce.
All right.
Is it looking all right?
That's
Am I thinking hard here?
Solid as always.
Okay.
All right, so Olmsted Falls.
Versus Avon.
Right. Avon's kind of top dog there.
Indeed.
So who's got the pressure?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, I would say the pressure's on Avon. The pressure's on Avon. I mean, they're 12-0. They're ranked number 1 in the state of Ohio. They've already beaten Olmsted Falls pretty soundly during the regular season. So I think Avon looks at this, or at least everybody who follows Avon, and goes, well, this one's kind of in the books for us. So I think the pressure, if there is such a thing, would be on Avon. Now, one thing about Avon head coach Mike Elder, he does a fantastic job of telling his kids to focus on just what is at hand. One play at a time, 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time. He likes to call it the noise. Block out the noise. Don't worry about what the pundits are saying. Don't worry about what our fans are saying. Don't worry about what your friends are saying. So he'll try to block that pressure out for his team. But that's a good question. I would say the pressure is on Avon, and I think if you're Olmsted Falls and their head coach Tom DeLuca, that's something that you hammer home this week in practice. Hey, all the pressure's on them. They've beaten us once already. They're number 1 in the state of Ohio. They're 12-0. Nobody's giving us a chance to win this game. So the psychological things that happen during the week as you get ready for a game on Friday night. Mike Elder's telling his team, don't worry about pressure. Let's not talk about pressure. And Olmsted Falls, their guys are saying all the pressure's on Avon. Good thinking cap question.
Right on. Okay. Listen, big stuff coming up this weekend. Be fun to see how everything shakes out.
It will. And again, when you get to this level, it's so much fun, and it's great football. I mean, you're down to 8 in each division in the state of Ohio, so go on out there and support the kids. As I said, that Avon O Falls game being played in North Ridgeville, so it's a short drive. Get on over there and support either the Eagles or the Bulldogs from Olmsted Falls, but go on out and catch those games. And, hey, whether you're in Lorain, Medina, Ashland, or Wayne County, go down to Canal Fulton and root on those Black River Pirates as well.
Okay, Tim. We'll see you next week.
Let's hope so, man. Let's hope we get some teams to the Final Four.